Ben Waldman sent February 27, 1997, 1:56 a.m. to Bill Gates. CC John Devan.
I must be on the wrong page.
I'm looking at the very first page of the second item.
Okay, so we have something different. There's some confusion.
Okay? Let me try to be sure we have the right document. Let me try to... Okay. And I will refer to it by document production numbers so that we're clear. Okay. Let me mark as government exhibit (368). A document that bears document production stamp 980113394. Through 9/7. Now let me direct your attention to the second item on the first page of this exhibit. And this purports to be an email from Mr. Waldman to you dated June 27, 1997. Is that correct, sir?
The second one.
You have to answer audibly yes or no, Mr. Gates.
Yes, the second one.
Okay. Now, in the second paragraph of this email to you, the second sentence reads, quote, "The threat to cancel MacOffice 97 is certainly the strongest bargaining point we have, as doing so will do a great deal of harm to Apple immediately." Do you see that, sir? Do you recall receiving this email in June of 1997?
Not specifically.
Do you have any doubt that you received this email in June of 1997?
No.
Do you know why Mr. Waldman wrote you in June of 1997 that the threat to cancel MacOffice 97 is certainly the strongest bargaining point we have, as doing so will do a great deal of harm to Apple immediately?
Well, Mr. Waldman was in charge of this update. You know, the MacOffice product had been shipping for over a decade by now, and there was a financial question of whether to do this update, and he felt it made good business sense to do it. Other people, irrespective of the relationship with Apple, had said that it didn't make sense to do the update, and so there was some mail from Ben, including this one, where he was saying he thought we should go ahead and finish the product. I'm not sure what he means about the negotiations with Apple. I'm not sure what we were negotiating with Apple at this point.
Was this the time that you were negotiating with Apple to try to find out what you could get Apple to do to undermine Sun?
Well, the only thing you've shown me where that term was used is after we reached a Mac Office agreement with Apple.
You're referring to your email dated August 8th, 1997, is that correct?
That's right.
That has been marked as Exhibit 365?
That's right. That's after.
Yes, that's August 8th, 1997.
That's right.
And it is clear from your August 8th, 1997 memo that you are still attempting to get Apple to do additional things. Is it not, sir?
No.
Well, sir, let's read. It's only 3 lines. You write, quote, "I want to get as much mileage as possible out of our browser and Java relationship here." And when you talk about here, you're talking about with Apple, are you not, sir?
I'm not sure.
Well, the subject of this is FW post agreement, correct, sir?
Yeah, that's what makes me think this was probably post agreement.
Post agreement with Apple, right?
Yes.
Okay. So the subject is post agreement with Apple. And the very first sentence says, "I want to get as much mileage as possible out of our browser and Java relationship here." Second sentence says, "In other words, a real advantage against Sun and Netscape." The third line says, "Who should AV be working with? Do we have a clear plan on what we want Apple to do to undermine Sun?" Now, do you have any doubt that when you talk about, "I want to get as much mileage as possible out of our browser and Java relationship here," you're talking about Apple?
That's what it appears.
Okay. Do you have any recollection of any discussions about the subject matter of this email in or about August of 1997? If the question is confusing, I'd be happy to rephrase it, Mr. Gates.
Go ahead.
Did you send this email?
It appears I did.
Did you discuss this email with anyone?
I don't remember that.
Let me go back to Exhibit 368. Which is the June 27th, 1997 email from Mr. Waldman to you. Do you recall, and I know you said you don't recall receiving this email, but do you recall anyone describing the threat to cancel MacOffice 97 as a bargaining point that you have in dealing with Apple in or about June of 1997?
I remember going to a meeting where Paul Moritz took the position that we shouldn't do the update. And the Mac Office 97 update. And the main negotiation we had with Apple at this point was a discussion about a patent cross-license. And so I said to Paul I wanted to understand better where we were on the patent cross-license and understand the state of the Mac Office development. And then it appears that this is an email that's coming after that meeting. I don't remember somebody using those exact words.
Whether you remember somebody using the exact words that Mr. Waldman uses in his June 27, 1997 email to you, do you remember people telling you in substance that the threat to cancel Mac Office 97 was a strong bargaining point that you had against Apple, and that canceling Mac Office 97 would do a great deal of harm to Apple immediately?
I know there was the internal debate about whether to do the update. And I know there was the patent discussion going on. And I said that maybe, even if it didn't make business sense to do the update, maybe as part of an overall relationship with the patent cross-license, that we should go ahead and do it. And so a commitment to do the upgrade was one of the things that we told Apple we might commit to as part of the patent cross-license relationship.
And did you believe in 1997 that canceling Mac Office 97 would do a great deal of harm to Apple? As Mr. Waldman writes you, it would?
There was a question about whether to do the upgrade and whether it made business sense. I can't really say how much impact it would have on Apple of us doing the upgrade or not. Certainly Ben, as the person in charge of the upgrade, was very passionate about its importance and its dramatic nature.
My question to you now, sir, is whether you believed that canceling Mac Office 97 would do a great deal of harm to Apple.
Well, I know that Apple would prefer that we have a more updated version of Mac Office, that would be a positive thing for them, and so that's why it was part of the negotiation relative to the patent cross-license.
And did you believe that canceling Mac Office 97 would do a great deal of harm to Apple?
I told you I think it would be it'd be better for Apple to have everybody doing major upgrades like this. I doubt, I can't characterize the level of benefit of the upgrade to Apple, but certainly it's something they wanted us to complete.
The next sentence in Mr. Waldman's June 27, 1997 email to you begins, "I also believe that Apple is taking this threat pretty seriously." Did someone tell you in or about June of 1997 that Apple was taking Microsoft's threat to cancel MacOffice 97 seriously, or pretty seriously?
Well, Moritz had taken the position that it didn't make business sense to finish this upgrade. And it's very possible Apple might have heard about Moritz's opinion there, and therefore been worried that we business-wise didn't see a reason to complete the upgrade, and that they would have the older Mac Office as opposed to this new work that we were partway along on.
Mr. Gates, my question is not what position Mr. Moritz did or did not take. My question is whether anyone told you in or about June of 1997 that Apple was taking pretty seriously Microsoft's threat to cancel MacOffice 97.
Apple may have known that senior executives at Microsoft, Moritz in particular, thought that it didn't make business sense to complete that upgrade.
Mr. Gates, I'm not asking you what Apple may have known or may not have known. What I'm asking you is whether anybody told you in or about June of 1997 that Apple was taking pretty seriously Microsoft's threat to cancel MacOffice 97.
Those particular words?
Told you that in words or in substance?
I think I remember hearing that Apple had heard about Moritz's view that it didn't make sense to continue the upgrade, but and that they wanted us to continue the upgrade. But I don't remember any of it being phrased at all the way you're phrasing it.
Well, the way I'm phrasing it is the way that Mr. Waldman phrased it to you in his email of June 27th, 1997. Correct, sir?
Well, in reading it, I see those words, yes.
Yes. And you don't have any doubt that you received this email, do you, sir?
I have no reason to doubt it. I don't remember receiving it. I do remember in general sending an email like the one that's at the top there.
Do you recall anyone telling you in words or in substance in or about June of 1997 what Mr. Waldman is writing here in this email?
Objection.
And by
This
what
is a
Mr.
very long
Okay.
piece of email.
All right.
Have you read the whole email yourself?
All right. I think my question was imprecise. I was probably trying to avoid quoting something for yet another time, but I think I accept your counsel's view that the question was probably defective. I thought it was clear what portion of the email we were talking about, but I will make it clear. Mr. Gates, Mr. Waldman on June 27, 1997, sends you an email that says, "The threat to cancel MacOffice 97 is certainly the strongest bargaining point we have, as doing so will do a great deal of harm to Apple immediately. I also believe that Apple is taking this threat pretty seriously," close quote. Do you recall anyone...
Do you want to finish the sentence or not?
You can if you think it is necessary to answer the question. Do you recall anyone telling you what I have just quoted in words or in substance in or about June of 1997?
No.
It's just about 10 o'clock now. We can take a break.
If you wish.
Yep, thanks.
Time is 9:57. We are going off the record.